It's going to be a bit honest, this. Welcome to Vigeland Park. I'm here in Norway. I'm about to leave as of tomorrow night, but I've been here for a couple of days. I want to talk about street photography and how it has helped me, and how, more importantly, how it can help you. Because I think lots of people don't do street photography because it's not their thing, but I think you are really underestimating the therapeutic quality of street photography. So for me, street photography is something where I can unload, I can sort of wander around, sometimes put music in, although I was told somebody, I think Sean took it, said take your headphones off and you'll see and hear more, which is actually what to treat. The problem with me with street photography is that I started as a bit of a hobby and I wasn't really sure where I was going to go with it, and then over time I have found it to be a sense of solace for me. And I'm going to explain all the reasons why, because life is very busy and I think street photography is the perfect antidote for it not to be. But it can be if you need it to be. But let's just not stay here. Let me pack this bag up and let's head off for a walk, you and me, because we're going to go somewhere else. Look at that sun setting behind me. This is the most incredible place. So street photography for me has always been somewhere where I can relax, be quiet and be in my own little world. The problem is that it's quite daunting to be out there, right? Here I am in Norway. Look at this. It's Vigeland Park, right? And, you know, they have different rules on street photography here. And there's something a bit scary about doing street photography, because a lot of people, when you're doing it, you wander around, you become quite self-conscious. And I always think the things that changed it for me was using a smaller lens, a smaller camera body, so I was a bit more inconspicuous. But street photography allows me to switch off and look at the world a bit differently. So there was someone who said, I think it's actually even become like a meme or something, like if it can't be interesting with texture, it got to be interesting with pattern. If it can't be interesting with pattern, it's got to be interesting with colour. If it can't be interesting with colour, it's got to be interesting with shape. And I kind of apply that sort of philosophy to my photography. When it comes to street photography, if it's not interesting in colour, I'm not photographing it unless it's interesting in shape or shadow or contrast or subject matter. And if none of those apply, I'm okay to walk by. And sometimes I go out, and I used to shoot like freaking loads, and I sit there because, oh my god, I got so many bangers. They were all rubbish. The thing is, every time I went out and got rubbish ones, it made me more fired up to get better ones, and it took time for me to realise what the difference was. But street photography wasn't about me taking just photos. It was about a form of relaxation that I found within my career of photography, because I wasn't sort of expected to create for a client. And I could wander around my hometown and just do it, and maybe only get like one shot if I was lucky. Or maybe I'd walk around and find nothing of interest, but I keep doing it. And now, whenever I go travelling, I at least take a couple of hours off to go do some form of street photography, be it just wandering around the park where I am, or wandering around the woodlands where I am, just to try and get something. Now, I know people can say walk around the woods isn't street photography. You're probably right, it isn't. But the fact is, I don't put a label on what I do. I'm just walking and taking photos. And I found that my brain switches off, and it's helped me enjoy my career a lot more as a photographer, because I'm creating purely for me. I think probably what I'm trying to say is that street photography for me is like my ongoing personal project. One day I will hopefully be amazing at it. Who knows? But for now, I'm enjoying it. I enjoy it. I know this video is probably not what you thought, because I've been doing loads of business ones lately. And if that's your kind of thing, I promise I'll get back to them soon. But as somebody who's been a bit overwhelmed lately, has had some bad news, coming out to Norway always scratches a part of my brain that needs scratching at the time. It's like it always calls me here, right? And it's great that one of my closest friends lives here, and I have so many friends here, but I can just explore this whole city and find something new every time. But Vigeland Park always brings me back because it's quiet, it's secluded at times. I mean, right now there's like all of like 7 people here. It's just nice and relaxing. So why is street photography so good for you? For those of you who poo-poo the idea of doing street photography, because I've been there, maybe I should just like make this better framing. Those of you who do street photography or not, what stops you? Is it because you're worried about what people think when you're out? For me, I just create, and I have a smaller camera, so I'm less obnoxious with it. But I also find that I'm searching for images better, and when I do shoots with my clients, it definitely feeds into that. And it's not for everybody, street photography, but I think everyone should have a go at it at least once. It definitely has its place in photography. And even if, people say you can't make a living out of it, well, great, you don't have to make a living out of it. But you can learn so much from it. You learn about light and composition, and you try your things. You do colour hunting. Which is where you look for one colour if you don't know. So I did it with blue and orange with one of my friends. But you could also just like say, I'm only going to shoot at 40mm. I'm only going to shoot at 28mm. I'm only going to shoot at f4. I'm only going to shoot. There's so many ways to challenge yourself that you probably wouldn't get, say, in most forms of photography. You could go to a client shoot and say, I'm only going to shoot at 40mm. I'm only going to shoot at f16. You can't do that. So I think street photography allows you to be a bit more creative. Now, there are people out there who think it's not legit, it's not great. I personally think it's great. There are some people who really poo-poo it, and that annoys me quite a lot. So when you don't like it, it makes me wonder, what is it you don't like? You don't like wandering around taking snapshots. It's because it doesn't feel like art. What is it? Maybe street photography is the slower pace of photography, one where we are 100% in control of how we react to what we're doing. We haven't got a client kicking off at us telling us what they want. We haven't got a brief to follow. We have entirely created it for ourselves. So maybe that's why I love street photography so much. It's at this point in the video that I wish I brought my mic with me, but watching that's still in Northampton. For years I thought street photography was something that only elite people do, that it wasn't something I was interested in. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to have people go, oh my god, she's the best portrait photographer, fashion photographer, whatever it was. And what I realised was I was performing for everyone else's briefs but my own. And why I love my clients, and I really do, to give myself the love of photography back, I started doing street photography. And yeah, I can't claim to be the world's greatest, but what I am doing is someone who's trying and enjoys it. I go on walks with guided walks, I go on my own walks. I try and find interest in what I like. I've always been a thing that I like people and their impact on the environment and the way in which they indulge. I think an area is made beautiful by the people. The buildings only do so much. It's about the community and the people around it for me. So that's why my street photography has always had to try and include that human element. So for me, I feel like more people need to do street photography if they want to connect. It teaches you to connect more with your camera, connect more with your art, and it lets you be calmly in control of something that is completely uncontrollable. You can decide how you shoot it. There isn't someone telling you how to shoot it. So I don't really know where this video is going to go. It started off why I like street photography, but I think if honest, I want more of you to like street photography. It doesn't matter what you're photographing in that street. I mean, I have my limits, like children is probably one. I don't really photograph personally. I definitely don't photograph the homeless. And if I'm going to photograph a busker, I tip them because they're trying to earn a living as well. I also, there's certain things that's probably my limit. I think children and homelessness, yeah, and that kind of thing. But I really enjoy it here. It's fun. It's fun to be here. It's fun to be around. It's fun to take photos of people, and it's really fun just to exist in quietly documenting what goes on. And while I don't think I'm any Vivian Mayer, I do kind of think maybe there's a space in the art world for a little bit of Khandie Reese, perhaps. Who knows? Time will tell. But for now, I will keep being a street photographer and enjoying every minute.